さて、一丁決めてくるか。
Yeah, 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 okay.
I'm ready to go tonight. The other body of light. We don't need a rhythm for joy, oh yeah. She can down to midnight, just gonna feel like so the groove will make me move.
Yeah,
I'm feeling like
yeah,
feeling just as right.
okay.
Can't stop dancing all night, oh, jumping up, shake it up, move your body. Don't stop music all night, oh, keep it on, it's your Friday night.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Enjoy. 楽しんでもらえたか。さて、一丁決めてくるか。
I'm ready to go tonight. The other body of light.
Yeah,
We don't need a rhythm for joy, oh yeah.
yeah,
She can down to midnight, just gonna feel like so the groove will make me move. Oh
yeah.
I'm feeling just as right. Can't stop dancing all night, oh, jumping up, shake it up, move your body. Don't stop music all night, oh, keep it on, it's your Friday night.
Enjoy. 楽しんでもらえたか。
So, there we go, there's the game. I've decided to not be such a lazy shit anymore and just, well, no, this is me being more of a lazy shit, actually. I'm just gonna, I did the old automatic recording of the VODs from the very beginning. Because I thought, you know, I'm setting up for like 5 minutes or so. It's dead air. Nothing interesting happens in the intro. Till today. But, yeah. I guess I'll just cut it out after the fact. It just, you know, it makes the VODs a little more cohesive. Because I made that new channel, right? And I'm not sure I'm not sure I want to upload the VODs because a lot of them are like missing the first few minutes. So you can't really cohesively follow the story. You missed like certain bits. It's like, well, shit, something important might have happened at the very beginning of a stream, but I don't fucking know because it's cut out of the VOD. Yeah, out of context, yeah. Plus, I gotta find a way to, because the way I record VODs is I record the game audio, well, the mic audio like this. Also, my dad is currently tearing up the floor in one of the rooms in our house, so enjoy that in the background. Ooh, the noise gate's getting most of it. So yeah, I record the microphone separately and the game audio separately. But if I upload that to YouTube, it'll just use the mic track, because the mic track is the default one. So I have to combine them in an editing software, and then hopefully be able to merge it with the MP4 without re-encoding it, because I don't want to... My streams aren't of the highest quality as is, so I don't really want to negate that even more by lowering the quality of re-rendering it. You saw the fucking Chromunculus Sponge video, right? That did not turn out pretty, right? I thought it looked pretty alright when I rendered it, but when I uploaded it to YouTube, it went through the fucking shitter. When all those subscriber things came up, it was just like fucking bitrate city, you know? 2 bits. 2 bits. Hey, Dasamuka, how's it going? Hey, Chessa. Sorry, just thought I'd mention you two by name. Just to be nice, you know? Alright. My controller is on. It has yet to be picked up, though. Oh yeah, it would help if I clicked on the game, wouldn't it? Unfortunately, that did nothing, though. Come on. Come on. Nope, it's just not working. Alright, well, I'm restarting the game, I guess. How do I... Bear with me. Technical difficulties. Controller no work. Controller broken. Come on, Capcom.
More like Cap God, am I right?
Right. Attaboy, there we go. Come on. Come on. There we go. Takes a second. Just to get his footing. Beautiful. Use a steering wheel. I kinda, oh god, I kinda wish I had a fucking steering wheel. Like proper like car setup. Like fucking gear stick. And pedals and all that nonsense. It's a gimmick, but if set up right, it could be really fun, I think. I don't know, yeah, I would enjoy that over a flight simulator, I think. I think, with a flight simulator, all the interesting stuff mainly happens when you're taking off. Whereas with like driving games, like say if you get a fucking big steering wheel and you play fucking Euro Truck or American Truck Simulator, that would be like fucking magical. Just enough like alertness, but also that level of relaxing as well, you know? So do you like the fact that see what Gant's saying there? When you look down at the title there and see what the title of the stream is. I made a point to go back to the other VOD because I was like, oh fuck, where did we actually leave this off? It was like a big fucking cliffhanger moment.
Do you understand the implications of what you've done?
Just gonna screenshot that for keepsake.
What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death.
I'm gonna turn the game audio down like just a tad.
He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in that case, were you not?
Ack.
Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death.
This is very jolly music for that.
Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction.
Cock! You don't know his sexual preferences. You can't say something like that. But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable.
Maybe. I'm afraid that's not important.
It is quite important. It's quite an important part.
Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice.
What?
We're merely keepers of the law.
Is that those things are supposed to go hand in hand, are they not? Court and the word court, the word justice goes kind of hand in hand with court, doesn't it?
Justice. Seek justice in the courts. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge.
I forgot the echo of the courtroom.
Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied.
Rubber. What's going on at the prosecutor's office?
They might have sent an innocent man to his death.
How can he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Order!
Oh, he's gonna fucking his voice is gonna be shot after this.
Order!
The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. What? we chose to end the the last stream at a good time, didn't we? Like literally 5 sentences before a fucking to be continued. Wish there was a ship helm controller. I'm sure there is. Don't you think? There's gotta be. There's gotta be. I gotta look that up now. Ship wheel controller. There's gotta be. Someone made like a USB one. There's no way, cause like I get like driving is popular. Driving is very popular. A lot of people in the world do it. I don't know if you've heard that before, but driving is quite a popular thing. Flying is also quite a popular thing, but also water travel, sailing is quite a popular thing. So I would be surprised if there wasn't at least one like big name brand one. I don't think you ever noticed the courtroom thing. That's good. It's supposed to be subtle. See, like, okay, so this is just my raw audio, and then this is the courtroom audio. So it's not like super noticeable, but I don't know. I think it's one of those things that I just like to have there, because I think even if you know it's there or not, maybe it just adds to it a bit, like maybe subconsciously. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Oomph. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals.
Oh, please don't stick around for long, Gumshoe. You hurt my throat, man.
Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later.
Wait! Detective Gumshoe! What is it?
You got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run around.
I'll do. Somebody else probably did this before me. Yeah. Somebody asked him to get the files on my behalf again.
And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
I'm pretty sure. Has he not said that before? I take it Lena's having you run errands again.
Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give you this. If there was a break in today's trial.
A little baby book for evidence.
Evidence law. Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day.
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
Is that right, Mr. Ray?
Seems so.
You could at least study some evidence law, really.
So he gets me like the child's version of it. Babby's first evidence law. Evidence law for dummies.
The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message.
A message?
She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book.
Him? I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. And before it only lets me read like 2 pages of it. There's no way they wrote an entire book for me to read through, is there?
Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence.
That's where you're wrong, Detective.
What?
Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still standing in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me?
Mr. Edgeworth.
The real trial today hasn't begun yet. Ah, someone's getting sawn in half. Ah!
What? What else is there to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she's unwittingly caused a man's death. And now you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal.
2 pages is half a page? Oh, don't get me started on the double-sided paper incident again. You're missing the point, Detective. Lena didn't murder Detective Goodman.
What?
She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there.
What?
And we're going to expose him.
Or her. Or her.
No matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. I'm so sorry about the noise. February 25th, 12:52, District Court Courtroom number 9. No. It is a circular saw, is what it is.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lena Skye. Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor. Okay.
The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions.
Thank you for the news, Your Honor.
Yes, well... Normally, this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have,
Struck a bargain? You think I may have manipulated the witnesses?
I didn't say that! I didn't say it, I'm not wearing a wire! You said it! You heard it, he admitted it! It's just, you see, everyone has been talking, and I'm very easily manipulated. I have no free will of my own, you see. I just spout opinions that I've heard before.
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
A solution? Not a final solution, I hope. I'd have to kick you out of the courtroom for that one, Mr. Edgeworth. It's very inappropriate.
That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
What? But there's no precedence for what you're proposing.
Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. Can't. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Gant, pick Gant. But I haven't even gotten the chance to pick anyone. Hold your horses.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal.
Then it's settled. The, defense may now call forth the first witness.
Mr. Wright, you do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over.
I better save then, just in case. Just in case I do a fucky wucky.
The defense calls. Time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. Bruce Goodman!
He's guilty, I tell you. It's him.
It's gotta be Gant, right? It's gotta be Gant. It's gotta be Gant. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand.
Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything?
As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. And he's literally the only other person involved with this case, like, in terms of, like, the murder that happened 2 years ago. He was like the only other person who was, like, on hand. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor?
I don't know. Sorry, I'm having fun with my gavel. I thought I heard it making a weird noise. Thought I'd smack it a few times. True. All right, bailiff. Please escort Mr. Gant to the stand.
Witness, please state your name and occupation. Look how Edgeworth always sounds fucking like uptight and fucking bored as shit.
What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch.
Your name and occupation, sir. I think it fits him, don't you think?
Worthy, are you sure you want to do this?
Your name and occupation.
So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police.
Now then, Chief Gant. The court requests to hear your testimony.
Oh, righto. What's with the grim face?
First, let's clear up this SL9 incident.
Oh, you mean that time when Lena's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already.
There are still some things unaccounted for.
Oh? Like what?
Like the role you played in all of this.
I don't know what you're talking about. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
Weapons?
Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to.
What? Is that true?
I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify.
That's a kick in the nuts. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks.
Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
Hold on, let me just plug myself real quick in Discord. Oh, I hate to do it, you know? I just, hate to do it. It pains me to have to plug myself.
Very well. The witness may now begin his testimony. Oh, I'm such a big buff man. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lena there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene.
He has a handgun. He just whips it out, shoots Phoenix in the fucking forehead.
As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
Bullshit.
Is that when Dark was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious.
He made quite the leap to get that high, didn't he? Or maybe we're viewing from a very low angle.
When Emma sent Neil flying, it seemed Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut.
The police chief has the right to refuse to testify. Then I'd better hit him hard and fast.
Oh yeah, baby. Hard and fast.
Hit me with your best shot! Whatever. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Everyone's gotta plug themselves at some point. Yeah, how else are you gonna get ahead, man? How else are you gonna become epic, successful streamer? Ew. Honestly, if that's all it took was me doing the exact same thing that I do now, and nothing was different, then maybe I would be alright with it as a job. But, you know, much more goes into it, probably. I feel like it does, anyway. So I'm taking a sip. Taking a sippy sip. Like, there's gotta be more behind the scenes, right?
Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic.
You gotta make, like, thumbnails and stuff, and ugh. Gotta upload your VODs to different sites, ugh. I suppose you could always pay someone else to do that. That's also a possibility, isn't it?
After winning his award, Neil was all fired up, too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that.
Was the defendant Lena Sky also present in the room?
I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it.
Yep, it's making blah 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 blah. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right?
That's right. But Dark made it to the elevator first.
You want to pay me? Yeah, I'll pay you. What kind of thumbnails can you make me? Doesn't make it. I will not accept stick figures. I'm sorry.
So Neil and I split up.
Oh, so sad. You made a wonderful couple.
He went upstairs and I went downstairs, I guess you could say. He got lucky.
What's this about a power outage?
Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil when
then. Jesus Christ. Don't say it with a fucking smile on your face. Say it with a fucking shit-eating grin on your face, will you? Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's not funny. This guy is gonna be a psychopath, right? Could you tell us what you saw?
It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together.
Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor.
Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls.
Lena and Emma.
Lena was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done.
You don't know that. You don't know that. You can't prove that.
How can you know that?
Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved.
So that means you found the body near Lena's desk.
That's right. I think you said earlier, it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor.
Health and safety, man. Cover that fucking blade up. Sheath it with a bit of plastic. Easy peasy, job done. Yes.
Anyway, as you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lena must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstance.
Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, stare at me. You'd be better off staring at the court record.
Worthy, worthy, always the smooth talker.
But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lena did admit to forging evidence. But that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. The pot, the pot, the pot, the pot, the pot, the pot, the pot. Alright, apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Alright.
That's the biggest crock of shit I heard.
Okay. It's gonna be the pot, right? Or oh no, ooh. It can be both of them. It can be either the pot or their finger handprints. Should I try the pot first? I'll try the pot first. Yeah. Pot good. Pot good. Pot good evidence. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up.
Explain yourself.
Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example.
That's that blue badger you showed us earlier.
No, it's not literally the blue badger, it's a jar. A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe.
Well, shit.
Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk.
It was found where?
You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation.
Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this? Here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy.
So you admit it then? That you were involved in the forgery?
Who, me? Or do you mean you?
Ah! Stop confusing me! Me? Why would I have anything to do with that?
Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, righto?
I'm sorry, you think I forged the fucking broken piece of the jar? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation.
Worthy, my boy. Gumshoe is a fucking idiot. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment.
What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work.
Yes, well, in the light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office. And their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together.
Stop insulting my intelligence.
Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment and a list. For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
I think Gant is the only one that calls him with Dick instead. Yeah, I think you're right. No, they were the other police officers that were like, "Hey, Dick, come have a beer with me after work." Remember? Remember those guys? Remember those really important characters?
Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor.
when investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I'm the chief of police, right? There will be consequences.
Oh.
Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again.
That face he's giving me, Jesus.
My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is taco night. My wife looks forward to it every night. Yes, taco night is every night. Tonight is, well, you know. All right, Hutchie. In return, though. I know. That place, right?
Their voices are so similar, it's hard for me to differentiate them. Huh? What are these guys? Telepathic? Their voices are...
The judge's voice is down here. And that fucking God's voice is up here, so they're not completely the same, but they're quite similar. For all I know, you could have planted them in my office.
I'd appreciate it if you'd stop making these ridiculous allegations.
Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that.
What? I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped...
Mr. Wright, what are you saying? Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later.
Later? What are you talking about?
What else? I'm talking about when Raito's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal.
Never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. Okay. The chipper, clappy yeah, Gant's more like...
Gant's more like he's got some upper range to him, and he's always quite like... Whereas the Archie is he's quite serious. He doesn't really change his tone unless he's very fucking surprised.
What do you mean by that?
This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery.
Bullshit! If concealing evidence found at the crime scene isn't forgery...
I'm not through speaking yet, righto. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered.
Oh yeah, cause sure, yeah, okay, well you just had it fucking sitting in your safe anyway.
Say, oh, it was a hobby. I like to construct forged evidence after the fact. It's an old pastime of mine.
Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation?
It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced.
Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient? Right. The chief is talking about a possibility, so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know!
Come now, righto. Think about it. There's no reason I'd participate in forgery.
The jar? The cum jar? Put him in the jar. You're going in the jar, Gant.
No, not the jar! I sentence you to... I sentence you to 2 years in the cum jar! No!
How can you look me in the eye and say that?
Because I'm innocent. Remember, who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see it?
Right, okay, so we're back to... No, okay, that's the last one, okay. Really, Chief Gant. At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all this.
Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit?
That would of course be the position you have. The Chief of Police.
Oh!
The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh.
Huh?
Do you really think I'm that incompetent?
What do you mean?
Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little.
Is that true, Edgeworth?
Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway.
Ah!
Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at.
So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else.
Maybe he's actually the nice guy here, and he actually hid the evidence because he didn't want Emma convicted. We didn't think of that, did we? We were here pegging him as this cunt, this absolute cunt, but he might actually be trying to save Emma's skin.
Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I.
Okay, well, never mind. Guess not.
There, it's out in the open now. Archie, would you mind if I changed my testimony a little? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me.
Nothing in it for you.
Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lena's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again.
You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone.
Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised.
You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though.
Oh, that's a good one, Worthy.
Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? Fuck. Fuck. What do we think? Him and Lena were really close, right? We've mentioned that multiple times. Should I read this? I should probably read this. Oh yeah, it's just 1 page. Great, cool. How useful. Do you think Lena is his accomplice? No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. It might be wrong, but true. You might not help out anyone for their sake. But if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to betray the chief. As a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. I know for a fact that's a lie. He still owes me money.
That's not what I mean.
Very well, then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence?
Had to be Lena, right? Lena's the only one who could benefit from it, but how would that... Oh, wait. Okay, I've just had a thought, right? I just had a thought. Someone mentioned, I can't remember when it was or who it was, but someone mentioned that Lena moved to the prosecutor's office so that the chief of police would have more control over investigations and such, right? So what if she agreed to do that in favor of him forging the evidence? That's my thinking anyway.
Chief Prosecutor Lena Sky, the defendant?
It's rather obvious from last time's evidence. Don't say that. Don't make me seem like a fucking moron, even if I am one. I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Yeah, apparently Phoenix thinks so too. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. I love those books. Who would want to help her more than her own sister? Lena. Lena? What? No. Who would want to help her more than her own sister? Lena? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lena if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit? What do you mean?
After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lena Sky was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. Yeah, that's what I thought.
But how would he profit from all of this?
He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. I mean, it was only yesterday, so I don't really have much of an excuse, but I forget things like 3 seconds after they've come out of my mouth. I've said this multiple times. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh wait, sorry. I just had what they call a baby brain moment.
Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lena Sky in forging evidence. Your motive? To appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her.
Righto, my boy, you have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something.
What?
Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lena? For example, is Lena testifying that I've done such a thing?
Lena. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant.
I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture.
Unless... wink wink. That is also what happened in this incident.
This incident? Which one would that be? We're juggling like 4 fucking cases at once now. It's kind of a clusterfuck.
Of course I'm talking about... the murder of Detective Goodman. Remember that? It's been so long. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her.
Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean?
What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lena take the rap to cover up his involvement.
What?
I'm taking a drink.
Order, 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 I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious.
Huh?
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That is impossible!
Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language. No. It's too late, Mr. Wright. You fucked yourself. There's no turning back for us now. High five, yeah, boys. Just a couple of boys in court working together.
Prosecutors and defense attorneys working together to make it alright.
Looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this.
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder?
Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gunk. Chief Nickelodeon Gank. What do they call that shit? The Nickelodeon stuff? Nickelodeon Gank. I don't know, what is it called? Gank? Gunk? I don't remember what it's called. It begins with a. Is it Gak? Gak. Nickelodeon Gak. That's it. Chief Gak is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. Without their magical sticks. Or they'll hop into fucking Gundams or something. Blow up the courthouse.
I see. All right then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got. And it better be good. I better be able to give it a 9 out of 10 on Letterboxd. That be high praise, Mr. Wright.
Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. Do I have that? Shit. Guck? It's not Guck, it's Gak, isn't it? The Nickelodeon Gak? The stuff? Victim's memo. How did the victim's memo actually come into play? I don't remember. Oh, it's this, right? It's this. He went in the evidence room. Because we figured out his ID number, remember? Can I save? I can't save. I hope it's this. I hope it's this. Please be this.
This is the ID card list.
Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 77777777.
Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number.
But I can. It's your number.
What? What? How do you know that?
The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code.
7 digits? You don't mean...
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 77777777777777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Oh, he didn't like that. He was very much not in favor of that.
Order, order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say for yourself, young man?
Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations.
And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card.
Chief Gant, so you admit it?
We haven't quite got there yet. We're close, but not quite yet.
You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime?
What about it? I'm chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference?
Well, you don't go into the evidence room to take a shit. I know that. If all of my years on this earth have taught me, you take shits in the bathroom, not in the evidence room. So, and you definitely don't store vital evidence in the bathroom. I learned that the hard way too.
Hey, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want.
Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone?
I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room.
Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he?
Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days.
You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant? I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. I'm afraid you've just played yourself, sir. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. One of them.
What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lena Sky's guilt.
No, it isn't, Your Honor.
What if the poopy poop isn't evidence? Well, it's not going to be very safe in the bathroom still, is it? Because it might get flushed. Ah? See, now I'm using my noggin.
This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting?
In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the murder. Or the crime. One of them.
Can only be submitted to the chief of police. Got him. Got him. But it's incomplete, though. Will that work, do you think? It's incomplete. I hope it's this.
Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. You would have had to give that report to the chief of police.
Yet you are in possession of the report. Which means you can't be sure if he filed it.
He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day.
He needed to?
It's incomplete because he no longer need it. Yeah.
Yes, to transfer the evidence out.
Oh.
Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room.
I accompanied him?
There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room.
Hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman.
Exactly.
But wait! The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of that sort.
Yeah, how convenient. You just remembered. Oh, wow.
Sorry, but that's not possible.
What?
According to the report, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body.
He turned fucking Super Saiyan for that one.
Chief Gant, you didn't!
The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Laner at the prosecutor's office.
Laner. I said it again.
Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course.
Brilliant.
You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there?
I was at the police department the entire day, you know.
And everyone's aware that Lena stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony.
What do you think? What do you fucking think, Edgeworth? What do you fucking think? He was found in the trunk of your car. I wonder, how did he get there? How did he get there? Oh man, my brain is just like, I can't fucking figure it out. Such a fucking, such a fucking mystery. Call the fucking X-Files guys, because they need to fucking get here. There must be alien intervention here.
Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal.
Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so.
Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space.
How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence.
To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this.
What did he use?
This? Oh, did he jammed it in the fucking trunk? He jammed it into the fucking lock of the trunk of Edgeworth's car? That's gotta be it, right? Evidence from a past case of Edgeworth's brought back to his office by Gant's request. Please be right. This is... Oh, no, it can't be right. It can't be right.
What's that?
Oh, no, it is right. It might be right.
A screwdriver? But what does that have to do with this case?
Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here? It's here because...
Ah!
I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here.
Wait, did he use it to jimmy open the thing? I hope so, because I'll look like an idiot if not. He grabbed it from the evidence room and back to his office. Right.
After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office.
But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to.
You mean I...
The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car.
Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car?
Yes. Unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation.
to transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lena Sky.
Order! What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal on the defense's outrageous accusations?
Think back to the photograph of Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk.
Chief Gant, please say something!
I believe your time's up.
My time's up?
Sorry, Raito, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're going to make it in time for the early bird special.
What a fucking geezer. What a fucking boomer. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet.
Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
Weapons?
Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now.
But we have pretty good suspicion to assume that you were involved in a murder, so I mean you can't just walk it off at this point.
What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now.
Well,
You think I had Lena dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. His court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright,
Your Honor?
do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body.
Do I have any concrete proof? Fuck. Not that I know of. Or maybe I do know of it, I just can't figure it out yet. Victim's memo found in the car trunk. Bum, bum, ba-da, bum, bum, bum. Found at the crime, yeah. Can't think of a possible evidence that would work a proof. He wears gloves after all. Wait, does he wear gloves? Oh, he does wear gloves! Oh shit, I didn't even realize that! I didn't even fucking realize he wore gloves. That did not click in my head whatsoever. I was like, Jesus, yeah, fucking right, he does wear gloves, doesn't he? Fucking hell. So, the person who committed this crime happens to wear gloves all the fucking time. No, I didn't notice that at all. How do I tie him to it though? The cloth and the jar is to connect him to SL9. Yeah, we've got that. Do we bring up the gloves? The fact that he wears gloves can't be concrete proof, right? That's not concrete. That's more just a speculative thing again. I We don't have any at this time, do we? No. I'm gonna have to go ahead. I'm gonna save again just in case. Yeah. I thought maybe I could present the glove and say, well,
Look at this glove, Your Honor. He also wears gloves, therefore...
no, I have nothing yet.
It's no use showing evidence if I'm not sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence.
Humph. See, Edgy.
Udgy, sorry. Wrong nickname. Oh no, he doesn't even call him Edgy, does it? Does he? Fucking old bag calls Edgeworth Edgy, doesn't he? He calls him Udgy.
In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief.
What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto? It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Udgy. I'll leave the rest to you.
I think I've been saying Udgy as Edgy this whole time. I'm so sorry.
I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. Go sit in the naughty corner. Face the wall. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency.
Oh, wah!
Lady Luck, maybe we should have a word with her.
Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? It's a figure of speech, you idiot. I thought I was stupid.
There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth. Another witness? In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony.
But Chief Gan is involved. But Chief Gan has invoked his right to refuse to testify.
There's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions. Raised in this trial. Sorry. Someone right in this very room.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person?
It's gotta be Lena, right?
Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Fuck.
Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist?
She may not be willing to tell the truth. But we can't just stop now.
Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth
Damon Gant! Again!
It's gonna be her.
The defendant? Miss Lena Sky?
She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task? To dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders.
Mr. Edgeworth?
The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor.
Come back here, you can't! Very well, the court will now take its final recess for the day. I call the tether ball. No one else is allowed to touch it. It's mine! In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in
Hold on!
Hold on, hold on,
Hold on!
hold on. Huh? Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lena.
He's talking to Lena.
I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences.
You're really not painting yourself in a good light here, buddy. You can't say stuff like this.
That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder.
Well, we've already established that anyway, haven't we? This isn't good.
Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. All right then, toodaloo. I've got a lunch date to meet. Well, shit. Okay, if there aren't any further objections. This court is now in recess. I'm going for that fucking tetherball!
February 25th, 2:04 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth.
That chief, he's something else, eh, pals?
Detective Gumshoe!
I'm not a detective anymore.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. You know, ruining your entire livelihood.
Don't worry about it. Water under the bridge. I've already decided where to work now. At your office!
My office?
Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with.
Could he mean Maya? Of course they used the fucking smug.
Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand?
It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify.
Oomph. Settle down, right? Remember what the judge said.
I'm getting the tetherball and no one else! It's mine!
I do remember that, I do!
But Chief, this is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
I think my flashback was more entertaining. Risks? What did he mean by that?
It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true.
You mean he forfeits his
Right to say anything too.
Who is this? It's Emma. I was right on the last voice. Emma, are you okay?
Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office.
Oh yeah, you did faint, didn't you? Nobody really addressed that. She just sort of fainted and then we were like, well, on with the trial. Somebody drag her out by the ankles, will you please?
I've been listening to the trial from the gallery.
So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before.
No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah, now that I know what it's like to relieve someone of their mortal coil, I think I might do it again for fun, you know? Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me.
Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor.
Sorry, I'm digging around in my ear. It's not very professional, is it?
Everyone who knew her said she changed.
It's like when there's a...
Wait a second, I've got to say something about this trial.
Perhaps it was easier that way for her.
What do you mean?
What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside. To force herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to do.
That must be why she became so cold.
It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall.
Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal.
He's right. When we get in the Gumshoe Joker movie.
Chief Garrett may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I've remembered now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor.
I see.
Well, we'd better get back. It's time for the final act.
Emma, why don't you wait here?
No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lena tells the truth.
Let's go, Ryder. It's time to end this.
Once and for all.
I just noticed the point and click tag. There's a point and click that might be automatically assigned. I definitely didn't assign that myself. I think certain games have certain tags. So I just got fucking just got an announcement from a fucking server I'm in. Time to mute that server. Suppress at everyone, please. I wonder how many people join my server only to fucking like suppress the at everyone's. It's like, why are you there then? I swear there are some people. I don't understand because I'm quite particular about the servers that I'm in. If I'm in a server, it's either because I interact with it frequently, or I'm waiting on something to happen in said server, or they have good emotes. Those are the only three reasons why I would be in a server. But yeah, some people just join like fucking 50 of them. I don't do that.
Now then.
I was thinking about doing a fucking purge on my server. Just to get rid of people who haven't spoken in like, you know, months.
Will the defendant, Miss Lena Sky, please take the stand?
But then again, I don't want to like exclude. Maybe there's someone who doesn't like to talk in the server, but responds to every single stream notification I put out, you know? That's my worry.
Miss Lena Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You already know that I've done what I've done these past two. You know that you
Fucking hell. You know all that I've done these past 2 years.
It was a weird voice to come out of your mouth just then. Very strange.
Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth.
Of course. The truth. Lena! No matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Even if I do get thrown into jail.
Now then, your testimony, if you will.
She'll get fucking juvie at worst. She's 16, right? She can't be convicted as an adult. And she was 14 at the time of the crime. And plus, it was inadvertent. It was completely inadvertent. So, like, you know, she wouldn't really get charged with anything, would she?
First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant.
Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant.
Gant and the fabrication.
I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself.
Bullshit.
When I found the prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene.
Hey, Ali, how's it going, my dude? How goes it? Needed a cozy stream? Well, These, would you call these cozy, the Ace Attorney ones? I feel like my usual streams are a little more cozy than these ones, but I'm like I'm shouting a lot in these ones.
My only motivation was to get Drake convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
I've got some toffee in my beard. Sorry. This is going to take a while to get out. Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lena!
If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. It's like a secret special dessert I didn't even know about.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me.
But what if she's telling the truth?
She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Ah! Like that.
Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself.
The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
You're getting confused. How else am I supposed to distinguish her as a female? As a member of the female gender?
I worked alongside Gant for years.
How many years exactly?
Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years.
Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I heard they were fucking on the side too. It's just a rumor though. Oh, come on, I'm an old man. Let me be perverted. It's the only thing I've got left in life. I personally saw them going at it in the supply closet.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
I personally saw them testify in numerous cases.
She must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia.
Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why. There's no truth to this blackmail theory.
But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail.
You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright?
Oh, don't turn your back on us again. Giving us the old fucking back of the scalp. Giving us the old back scalp.
Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip.
But I am your lawyer. I wouldn't lie about that, would I?
I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself.
There's gotta be something that proves that she couldn't have done it all on her own.
Did you do so to help your sister?
Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life.
But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything.
Yeah, exactly my point.
That's not the point.
You're not the fucking point. Fuck off.
She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lena!
So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago.
When I found the Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene.
You say you did this all by yourself.
Yes,
Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene?
it seems I was the first person to discover the scene.
The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's butt. That what? Yeah, that's quite. I like how it played the noise like ding. Like that's noteworthy. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. Ah! Allie, you little fucker, you little fucking boy. Oh, don't give it to Karu. Don't give it to Karu, bot. He doesn't deserve that. Thank you, my dude. That really means a lot to me. Genuinely. Maybe some of the, is there anyone who isn't regulars in this stream? I'm not sure. Sayara? They're not around super often, but... Oh, shit, we're gonna have to deal with that for a while. Are we done? No, there we go. Keeps going. Around the world, around the world. Genuinely, my dude. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
That's only a situation you dreamed was possible.
Yeah, congratulations, congratulations.
The reality is, it wasn't my sister who...
Why are you guys clapping to this? This is a very sad testimony. You don't have the right. This young woman is pouring her soul out and you're clapping? How dare you?
The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life.
Good, I think we're finally done. Thank you, Ali. Really appreciate it, my friend.
Oh. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement.
You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Doc?
Something like that.
If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Doc was carrying a switchblade knife.
The first boy.
Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away.
Why? Oh, wait, no, it was his switchblade. I was gonna say, never mind. Didn't we establish that he didn't have it on him, though?
It was probably knocked away in the struggle.
That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. We know how that ends. Very poorly. I like how everybody who is gifted a sub also showed up in dog form for that. That was interesting. I wonder how that works then. It can't just be like their name showing up in chat, right? Maybe a mention of their name. They were here in spirit. Maybe that's what happened.
So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted in it.
I'm sorry, you broke off the tip of a fucking knife? What are you, fucking She-Hulk? What? How did you fucking snap a knife in half? It's not a fucking butter knife. It's quite sturdy, these things. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. I'm confused. I think I'm meant to be confused. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the... Okay, it's going without me.
But why? Why would you do that?
You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You filthy piece of shit. You've always had a good head on your shoulders.
My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others.
Why did you move the body? Why did you plant the knife? Shit. shit, what's more important there? Help me, guys. I don't want to know why she planted the knife. I want to know fucking how she planted the knife. How the fuck did she snap a fucking switchblade in half? Alright. Why did she move the body? We have a reason to why she moved the body, right? She moved the body so she could conceal the fact that he was stabbed by the armor. Why did you plant the knife? That's what I want to know. The knife is the most important aspect, I think. But why did you do that?
Come now, Mr. Wright. Even you should be able to figure it out.
I can't. Please don't. You're overestimating my ability. I don't understand.
Very well, let's add this to the witness's testimony. The reason Miss Sky fabricated the knife.
I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in his body would be all the proof we needed.
According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right?
Yes, and leaving it at that might point to yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Doc.
There we go.
I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be by having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body.
So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound? Bitch, that's grody. You had to stick your fucking hand inside of his guts? Ew, yucky, ew! Disgusting!
Because I hated Dark for what he did. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer?
So many times. How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? I don't give a shit about my sister. Emma didn't do it, period.
Oh, that's his stance.
Why are you so desperate to hide that fact?
You're willing to risk the death sentence? Wait, fuck, she gonna get the death sentence? Fuck, I thought maybe jail for life, not actually dying.
She's lying! She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened.
In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions.
Mr. Wright, my sister's lying!
Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself.
There's no way she could have done it alone.
I've got to get Lena to talk more. If she's lying, she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction.
Haven't I pressed her on everything, though? There's no truth to the blackmail theory. We pressed that. Fabricated the evidence by herself two years ago. Pressed that. Broke off the tip to Dark Knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. Can I ask the question again about why she moved the body? I think I can, right? Yeah, okay.
When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body?
It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk.
But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there?
The reason for that is simple.
Let's have the witness explain this in more detail.
Please do.
The reason Miss Sky moved the body.
The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threaten my plan. Right.
Pieces of the jar. You mean...
Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier.
You mean the one that spells out Emma?
In order to show that Dark committed the crime. I felt it would be more expedient to move the body.
So, when you first found the body, the jar was already...
Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened.
Wait. He couldn't have written it when it was shattered. He had to have written it when it was already fucking... like, still... Oh, fuck. He had to have written it when it was still, together. Hey, Horian, my friend. How's it going, my dude?
Neil Marshall was dead, and Drake was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle.
No, I'm gonna call bullshit on that. It couldn't have. Because he had to have spelt her name on it or something. Wait, no, I'm confused now. None of this makes sense. My brain hurts.
I see.
What's the matter, Emma?
My way of thinking is getting sharper. I'd like to think that this is actually helping my deduction skills. Somewhat. Because it is forcing me to fucking think things through quite in depth.
Apparently the jar, shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there's more to it than that.
Yeah, I've already pointed it out. My brain is much faster than yours, Emma. My completely developed adult brain.
There must be a
There must be a condiction here.
There must be a contradiction here somewhere.
Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone.
Alright. So we gotta get something that that mentions the jar. The pieces that shattered during the events of my... Okay. I'm just gonna bring up the jar, shall I? Because we know that the writing is on it, and we know that it's bullshit. It actually slipped to my mind that the writing was through the cracks instead of on a single piece of the vase. Yeah, I was just thinking about it, because I was like, well, we had to put it together, and they were like, They made a point of saying that the lines connected over the cracks. Like, if we look at it... Oh, it doesn't show the cracks, of course. But I'm pretty sure that, like, the line connects through the cracks. So I was like, okay, well, obviously, if he had written it, he had to have written it when it was still together.
Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister.
You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered?
If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I'm compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony.
A contradiction in my testimony?
You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan."
Been playing it on your own? Oh, man. You know... I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna go about playing the other games after this, which I probably shouldn't worry about quite yet, because I've got like 40 gigs worth of fucking VODs from this first game alone, and I've still got 2 other games to play. So it's quite a lot. But I'm trying to figure out whether I should like emulate them or what. I don't know the best way to go about it. I'll have to look into it. Ace Attorney 4. I have no idea which one that is. Is it like... Is like a Destiny one, Justice for All, intertwined shit? I don't fucking know.
That's right.
Do you have a problem with that? You fucking what, mate?
It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar in the victim's blood.
Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments.
Oh, the Apollo Justice one, yeah. Is that on 3DS or DS? Because I think it's on the DS. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll just drop it into Citra. And then I realized that Citra doesn't play DS games, so I was like, well shit. Gonna have to set up another emulator. Fuck.
Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies.
I don't know how I'm gonna. I'll just make. How am I gonna distinguish Phoenix and Apollo? Because Phoenix does sound a little older. When I did like that Apollo Justice thing, like fucking forever ago,
I basically made Apollo sound a little more like this. You know, he's got a little more nasal to him. He's kind of, because he's younger, he's less experienced, you know? He's more nervous too.
Whereas Wright's more down here. He's more, you know, a little older, a little wiser. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died.
Oh, fuck.
He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar.
Order, order.
Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regards to this jar and its bloody message.
wow, Edgeworth, no need for language.
Its bloody message. Mate. We may be missing something critical here.
Something critical?
Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed.
What?
Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth.
Yeah, Apollo is he's quite close to Sonic. If you get rid of Sonic's intonations,
Cause Sonic,
well, no, Sonic's way more nasally now that I think about it.
Apollo's more like, he's sort of just here. He's kind of like, but Sonic is like all the way up in your nasal channel. He's like all the way up here, gotta go fast.
Whereas Apollo's like, he's more down here, sort of, you know? Subtle, well, I was gonna say subtle difference, but
This and this.
are not that subtly different, really, are they? They're quite different.
Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. But tell the truth now, no fibs. No more fibbing, young lady. We're watching you.
I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room, and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood.
You didn't do a very good job of it, did you?
The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was Viking. All I could think about was Vikings. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood?
I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dyke was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
If you're interested, there's a song that was recorded by that he sang in his Apollo voice. Couldn't I just listen to his voice? Like, his actual voice? Do I need to listen to the song?
Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
You know, I think I'd rather just, like, base it off of, like, my own idea of how I would approach the character and then, like, look at it afterwards to see how similar it is. Because, like, for example, like, Von Karma...
I immediately went to this sort of voice for Von Karma.
But then his objection turned up and it was like,
Objection!
but in the anime, apparently he does sound
A little more like this.
So I was on point in terms of, like, you know, outside of the original game. Because in the original game,
Why they thought it would be good for him to sound like this, I don't know.
little strange. We're back to normal? We're back to normal. Okay, sorry.
I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar.
Press everything.
So the jar was already broken.
It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier.
It certainly looks as feeble as the defendant's case.
Defenses. He's a short old man.
Not as feeble as the judge's judgment.
You were an ace detective. You were an ace attorney. You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces?
Normally I would have. But it was dark in the room, and I didn't have time to check it out.
So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar?
No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust.
Well, that helps my case.
Lena, you do that for me?
Seems you two might make up yet.
Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was.
If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence.
Contradiction? Was there a contradiction? Fuck, I didn't notice.
Damn it!
You must have been in a hurry.
I was.
The jar did get wiped.
I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking. Rather.
To be safe, I wiped away the blood.
But she says she did wipe it. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened.
What do you mean?
If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood.
What else could I have done in that situation?
Lena!
I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces.
Okay. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office.
A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me.
Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go.
Well, you're a freak. Nobody's asking you. Nobody gives a shit what you carry around. You got test tubes and shit. You're also a 16-year-old girl. They have all sorts in their fucking pockets.
I never miss anything. I got every last piece.
Except you didn't get every last piece, though, did you? Because... Fucking, Fucking Gant had another piece, right? He kept one of them.
All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
So you illegally rearranged the crime scene.
Yes, I don't have any excuse for my actions.
I'm so sorry, Lena. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time.
It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident.
No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office.
More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony.
Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? It was drawn by Stormy Moth. She's not here at the moment. She's usually here by now. She must have overslept. Or she's doing something else. I think her Twitter is Moth Stormy. If I'm correct. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I've finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Possibility. Right, I immediately noticed the bloodstains on the jar. You said it was dark, though. So that was bullshit, but it was
Dark in the room and I couldn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood.
right.
The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all.
Am I stupid? I can't see the contradiction this time. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. Oh, okay, that's the end. It's only like 4 statements. Notice the bloodstains on the jar. She said she prepared a pocket light, though. How do I point that out, though? I don't have evidence to, like, point that out as a contradiction. You know? It has to be relevant to one of these items. That I don't have. Or I do have. It's probably not gonna be any of these. I don't think. It's gotta be like the jar or the piece of cloth, right? Those are the only things I have. It could be relevant. Evidence for something, but wait, bears Emma's brains? Let's have a look at this, shall we?
This is a handprint, right?
Yeah. Someone left behind an oil stain on the fabric.
Whoever it was, they must have had a really oily hand. Mr. Right, think about it scientifically.
Huh?
A more likely explanation is the person slipped and fell on a
fleshly waxed floor. Flesh,
getting wax all over their hand.
Well, that would account for this amount of oil, I guess. I don't see what's so scientific about it, though.
It happens, you know. I always slip on the floors at school after the wax.
You got made a habit of this, do you? To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping that clean before they were discovered. She didn't wipe it clean. Should I bring up the fact that she didn't wipe it clean? Is that it? Is that it? The fact that she didn't wipe it clean?
Fleshy flow. Yummy.
Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of.
Do tell, because I don't know.
You found the final piece of this jar. We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe.
In Chief Gant's safe? But how?
I knew it. She didn't really know.
She really didn't know.
There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it.
There were blood on all the pieces, though.
But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of all of them.
Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you.
Good deduction. It's a shame I didn't pick up on that, but Phoenix did, and that's all we need.
But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece?
I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures.
I'm glad his dentures are canon. Oh, God. Didn't I make a joke about his dentures before?
I have to go to the bathroom and retape my dentures in.
Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken.
Oh, that.
There's no way a man could have, there's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene, but another person discovered the scene prior to the witness.
I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first...
The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide the fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that?
No!
It's his best friend. He can't admit it.
Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. What the f...
Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence.
But why would Chief Gant do that? We're like best buds. We're like 2 peas in a pod, me and him.
In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear?
Well, what happened? What? I wasn't following.
I think it's good that the judge is absolutely devoid of intelligence, because it means that if I miss something, they just have to explain it to him, and then I get informed as well. I realize I just insulted myself by calling myself as dumb as the judge, but it's true. It's true.
Discovering the scene, Lena Sky believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid.
You always have tacos. You can trust the tacos.
He was going to come round my house tonight for taco night.
Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Sky became the Chief's puppet.
No! I did it on my own!
Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake.
No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client.
I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the...
What? That's fucking rude. You're questioning my character as an attorney? I passed the bar. Wait a fucking minute. What if? Marvel's what if? We're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap.
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright?
Lena, maybe right after all. Oh, my stomach is you probably didn't hear that. My stomach is just like... I'm hungry. What do you mean, Wright?
So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright.
Miss Sky, please testify once more.
But...
If evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie.
But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall.
Miss Sky, if you will.
Maybe she knocked over Dark, and that's why he hit his head.
I can't.
There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth.
Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
While I take a drink real quick. Mmm. Beautiful liquids. Oh, I got that weird feeling though, where, you know when you're really hungry and you get like an empty stomach feeling, and then you drink a whole bunch, and it's not the same as eating food. You just feel a bit like, oh.
All right, the witness may testify once more for the final time.
Just brush it off as the circular saw noises. Well, that stopped like an hour ago, so can't really blame that anymore.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor's sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent.
No, I don't think so. Guilty! Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor's sword.
You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof.
Actually, I do have proof.
Yeah, she said she kept a camera with her, didn't she?
I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning.
What? Oh. The evidence law book? What? What? To me?
I'm fucking useless though. Why would you give it to me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed.
But I don't remember receiving a picture like that.
Lena must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. Whatever that means. What is this picture you speak of?
I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lena.
Lena said she gave it to you this morning, right?
I seem to remember getting something from her then.
Let's check that evidence again.
Back in my day, we used to have fucking drawings, and that was the best we got.
Wait, no, you can classify a picture as a drawing. Oh, I didn't check it out, did I? Oh! Oh, okay! 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 Yeah! Yeah!
Yeah!
Okay!
Okay!
Hey, there's a picture here. didn't realize I would do a fucking genuine okay, Little John okay. Yeah, for those who weren't around, Chessette was around for it. I did a little remix of Friday Night at the beginning, where I just inserted some of the John Wayne, Little John stuff. Which is actually me, by the way. It's not John Wayne. Why do I keep saying John Wayne? It's not Little John. It is actually me. Just to clarify.
Oh my! This is the actual crime scene.
No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contracted criminal affairs only after I had rearranged everything.
Well, this is decisive evidence.
Mr. Wright! This piece cut out from his... That piece cut out from his vest. Could that be?
The cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe.
With Emma's fingerprints on it. Which proves she did it, surely.
What's this? Dun dun dun.
This is a handprint, isn't it? Hmm. That cloth. It had fingerprints on it. Whoever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer.
No, stop, Emma, stop.
What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma.
Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright?
Whoopsie, oopsie, I accidentally proved she's the murderer. Oopsie.
Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer.
Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Maybe I should set up a hotkey to, like, every time Edgeworth shows up on screen, I'll, like, flash up a Rayman picture on over his face.
When I arrived, I found Mr.
Oh, okay. Oh, there he is. Biggest dickus himself.
Come now, Ajay. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief can't. But now you want me to make me as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense.
I'm afraid it's too late for that.
What?
You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort.
Shit.
This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck.
Oh, fucking brutal. Absolutely destroyed.
Ah, so what? You think I'm worried?
You did look a bit worried just then. I'm just saying, you did look quite startled.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements.
What do you mean?
Why did you come up to the fucking stand then, you idiot?
The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death?
Yeah, but you pointing this out is also proving that you fabricated evidence because you have that in your safe.
Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt.
And we've already established the fact that Emma's gonna get off anyway because, you know, it was self-defense. So...
Is this true, Mr. Wright?
I show that piece of evidence now. Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer.
Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries.
What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the right decision.
I can't afford to make the right decision. Good.
Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall?
When Phoenix said triple ellipsis, exclamation point. Yeah, I really felt that. Really resonated with me. The dialogue in this game is impeccable. Alright, well, I can't show it because it doesn't show the full picture.
Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
What? You lie! Chief Gant? You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together.
Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it.
What are you talking about, Chief Gant?
Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason.
You mean you had this in your safe?
What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department.
Didn't have the breath for that one.
Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the call, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? Spill the beans.
Why don't we have that as a choice? Because technically I'm not supposed to hide evidence regardless of whether it's advantageous towards me. That's kind of a no-no in court. I can't just say, well, I do have evidence that my defendant did it, but I'm holding on to it because I think maybe there might be something else.
I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lena.
So you really were manipulating her.
I knew Lena. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid.
So you assisted Miss Sky.
I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room.
And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted.
When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lena arrived at the scene, mind you.
2 pieces of evidence. You mean those those items in your safe?
But why? For insurance, of course.
Insurance?
I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment?
Yes?
I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lena to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces.
But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar, too?
Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more of them for insurance.
You mean that piece of cloth?
Come on, Righto. Cough it up already. I know you have it.
Basically, that rule of the evidence made me think that there might be something that need a certain... Did it say that in there? No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence must be relevant. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Is that relevant? Let's just assume it is.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright?
So you admit to it then, Chief Gant? That you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe.
Yes, I admit it. I don't want to have to do that. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being betrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself?
It wasn't relevant because it could be any cloth. That's a bit of a stretch.
Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it before it was too late.
It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Fuck.
Do I show it? Do I show it? The fact that it gives me the option to conceal it again. Mention it just now, confirming it was from the vest. Oh, okay. Alright.
Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now.
Thank you. Without you, I would be lost.
All right then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall.
This one.
Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest.
Oh yes! At last you finally brought it all out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth.
Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather, there must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly.
You mean?
It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence.
Oh, you're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy.
What?
Think about it. Righto had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be?
You mean you already knew? You knew whose fingerprints are on that. You know.
Mr. Wright, do you really know?
Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer.
Well, yes and no.
Whose fingerprints are they?
Very well. I'll tell you. Officer Meekins! It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is...
Emma? Emma Sky?
What? They're mine?
I'm sorry, Emma.
But why? Why didn't you tell me?
Rabble, 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 rabble.
Oh, you really are something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along. And you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death.
But as we've established, it was self-defense.
How could you? You monster!
Miss Sky?
You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't.
What? Man, I've drank quite a lot for this stream, and I'm surprised I haven't had to go piss more.
like she really didn't.
Miss Sky, it's not over yet, despite the jolly music.
What?
I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy! What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? No, I don't think I will. Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh? And what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall?
What?
Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask?
It was Emma Sky, wasn't it?
I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction.
What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about?
I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. Just let him bask in the sunlight. Yeah, let him think he's won for a little bit. It's all the more sweeter when you kick him in the balls.
Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict?
Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth.
I don't know.
Blood? Blood? Oh, fuck, yeah, there's blood all over it. There's no blood on it. Oh, you're absolutely right. Oh! Yeah, you can see it went all the way down the shit and all the way down the vest as well in the same pattern. Absolutely destroyed.
And what exactly is this supposed to be?
This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it.
If I was playing this alone, I feel like I would have looked up the answer much more. I mean, technically, you guys are giving me the answer, but that's the fun of it. We get to work together. Sometimes I get it, like, right off the bat, and other times you guys get it.
See where the cut of his vest was cut out? The piece of his vest?
Can't wait for the judge to smash Chief Gant with his giant. He just bans him.
It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though.
God, now I want a fucking bonk noise for my sample board. Bonk.
Guilty. It's hard to make it out with all the blood on his vest, though.
Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood pouring out of his mouth.
Oh, but that piece of cloth. It's spotless. It's beautiful, actually. Wait, there's no blood on it. Ah!
Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she There's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time.
Oh, this is nonsense.
Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lena Sky? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armor's sword. And to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make Lena believe her sister did it.
Got him.
Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer.
No!
It's finally all over.
We got him, boys. Bag him and tag him. Objection? What is it now? I like how he didn't have an objection noise. So we never canonically get to hear his voice.
That was close, Raito. You almost had me. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? They're crystal clear, cunt. You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. Order, what nonsense is this?
Oh, fuck. He might be right, though. Because it's illegal evidence. It wasn't assessed by the police department. Right? Is that what he's going to bring up? No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Which it wasn't, was it? Oh, unregistered evidence must be... Okay, but it's relevant, though, so it doesn't matter. Okay, never mind.
Legal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Archie? Earlier, old Raito here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Raito? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you?
Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
That's what he said at this point in time.
Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence.
I think it's safe to say he wasn't coming to fucking taco night for a long time. It's been.
But that's not fair!
Did you actually think you could best me in cars? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth.
True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal.
Well, Mr. Wright?
It seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived.
Good, because I don't know what your plan is, Phoenix. Do you wanna tell me? I am inside your brain, am I not? I should know your plan.
Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposefully, and illegally concealed this piece of cloth?
Fuck.
I mean, I did conceal it. Illegally. My plan is a plan that not even the voice man. Yeah, he's not even sharing it with himself. Oh, fuck. Well, I did. I can't lie about that. If I'm gonna win this case like a good old boy who does no wrong, then I have to admit it, right? I have to admit it. God damn it, no, apparently not. No, if I admit to that, all my planning will have been for nothing. What was that? I did not conceal evidence, Your Honor. I did not. I did not.
I admit I refused to present it at... I admit that I refused to present it at one point.
Ha ha! So the evidence is illegal.
No, it isn't, Mr. Gant.
Huh?
Yeah, right, it's the relevancy, you're right. I get it now. It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence.
No, Haji, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe.
There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not?
Very well. Let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now.
I have a book, Your Honor. A children's book. There we go.
This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law.
What's this?
I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more.
What?
You see, it's written right here inside this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial.
God, I just got a real fucking craving for Doritos out of nowhere. Fuck. And I went shopping to... I should have bought some. Fuck. No, I shouldn't have bought some. That would make me fatter. I don't want that. Stop eating junk food, you piece of shit. You got us into this mess, Doritos.
And here is the crux of the matter.
Gamer Boy urges. Tell me about it.
God, I wish I had a snack to satisfy my gamer urges.
I don't know what to say, man. I just like Doritos, you know? It's nothing gamer related about it. They just taste good.
You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevancy between the cloth and the SL9 incident.
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and...
Salt for those salty moments. Yeah. See, I don't have amazing self-control when it comes to food, so my strategy for that is to just not buy it at the time. Because if it's in the house, I will consume it whole, and it will be gone in an instant. But if it's not in the house and I have to actually go out and buy it, then there's that line of separation. You know? I think I watched a video once that was like, what is the point in learning self-control when you can just take measures to, like, not put yourself in that situation? And it's genuinely, like, a really good point Why spend the time learning that discipline when you can just do things that don't put you in that situation? So, like, for instance, I was craving Doritos, right? But I can't have them because I would have to go out and buy them. And to do that, I would have to perform some physical activity. So as a result, I'm not going to eat them tonight. Because there's that distance, you see? Ah. Whereas somebody else would have to practice discipline and have it with them, have the Doritos, but choose not to eat them. How boring is that? Sorry, can I go back to the game? Some ranting about self-control. Sorry, but can you recall? When was that picture presented?
That was shown only a few moments ago.
No! I'm hungry, but I don't want to get out of my room, and there's no food in my room, therefore yeah, exactly. Exactly. As long as there's that distance, you don't have to spend years and years disciplining yourself. Don't bring him food. You'll turn into a feeder. Don't become a feeder.
He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless.
He's hungry, but we all have to be hungry sometimes. If I ate every time I was hungry, I would be like fucking 300 pounds.
The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut this out of the piece, cut this piece out of the victim's vest.
Oh, yes.
No!
Yeah! Yeah!
It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence.
Ah, he did it to himself! Ah! Congratulations, you just played yourself. He approved it himself! Oh!
Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who could have who that could be. Damon Gant! The killer was you!
Well, if you think so.
Fuck, I was gonna fucking pass out there for a second. Jesus Christ. Ooh. I actually need a minute to just settle down there for a second. Holy shit. When the adrenaline hits, my dude.
I know, I knew I should have gotten rid of him.
Give me a fucking headache, Jesus Christ.
That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the apartment trying to get something on me.
Oh, I'll clip it at the end. If I almost passed out, then it's gotta be worth a clip.
Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me.
Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty.
Crazy how Phoenix shows an unregistered evidence and everyone's like, boo! Yeah, because he does it so well. He does it with style. I'm like, I have the gracefulness of like a fucking upside down duck bobbing for bread. Oh my god. I cannot believe how much of an effect that had on me. I do not recommend doing that sort of maniacal laughter, because it will fuck you up.
He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Star, then convinced Bruce Goodman.
Detective Goodman?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, the Marshal.
If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you gotta help me.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's a workout. You'll definitely get abs like that. If I wake up and I got a fucking six-pack tomorrow, that'll be fantastic.
Goodman had turned him down, as he ought to.
Sorry, I'm just adjusting my volume.
Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit.
He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence.
Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. And all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman?
Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief?
This is his voice.
We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered.
He's gonna be Rorschach, I've decided. That was his only dialogue.
He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said,
It's not too late. I'm gonna hand all this over to Marshall.
well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9.
I'm Batman. I'm also Rorschach. We're one and the same, basically.
That's when I saw it. That accursed knife.
Fuck. I dread I dread what that sounds like. I want to listen to it, to be honest. I don't think you'll be able to hear it because I think I got my Chrome audio muted. Jeez. Jesus Christ. Yeah, haven't got too many of those in my lifetime. maybe a couple more, then I'm just gonna fucking die of a heart attack.
I couldn't just pull it out.
Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime.
Is it really that hard to do a Batman voice? Surely everyone can do this, right?
Where is she? You just gotta talk kind of like how Christian Bale talks. Christian Bale kind of talks like this. He's sort of, you know, I'm a playboy.
And then he just talks like this when he's doing the Batman.
Ugh. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake.
A bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
I used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was just too nervous. I had no business doing any of it.
Use that as a button seat. It's probably clipped the fuck out of the mic, is the problem. I tried to lean back, which probably didn't help with, like, you know, the blood rushing rushing through my body.
Then you put the body in my car.
I'm sorry. I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives everywhere.
I think he's in denial now of what sort of shit he's in.
Leaving the prosecution's car aside. How? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this?
Well, she had as much to lose as she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out.
So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker.
I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take.
So, you left the jar fragments in the glove.
Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crime than a committer.
Please don't laugh again. I will actually die. I will die. I might actually die. I'll have a brain aneurysm.
They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay.
Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that.
Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court?
Me?
You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Aji. What? Looks like we'll have to
He was actually going to. He was going for tacos with the judge. He actually was. That's actually canon. That was actually happening. He was going to the judge's night for taco night, and nobody can prove otherwise.
Sorry, old friend.
So that clip is probably not good enough. I should cut it directly to the left. Probably, yeah. I'll do it later. Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry too, Damon Kent. I knew you as you used to be, long ago. You were once a fine investigator, and an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Who stays a card now, Aji? Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Raito here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already.
The melodious sound. Okay, I didn't get to read that one. Alright. Guess that's my fault. That's why the judge trusts him.
We shared tacos, man. I mean, what the fuck? That's a sacred bond.
There are two things I want you to understand.
Yes?
First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent.
You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today.
So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered.
I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble.
My, what high standards you have for a rookie.
Bonk. Yeah, I was gonna say the first thing that came to mind when he slammed the gavel was bonk. I was like, fuck, I wish I had the sound effect. I wouldn't be able to do it quick enough is the problem, because there's not enough time. I would have to like zoom my fucking hand over to the mixer.
I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it on top.
Or he might be a homeless bum.
I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright.
Miss Sky?
And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth.
I think I'm in there, lads.
You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you.
Oomph. It was nothing.
Liar! I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth.
Stop it. I only did my job.
In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky,
Yes, Your Honor?
you are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Is there something amusing about all of this? Are you smiling? Are you a witch too?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains.
He doesn't like being praised. It's not within his comfort zone.
Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lena Sky, not guilty.
Do you think it's a shame? Why do they say guilty and not guilty? Can't they just say innocent? Why is it gotta be guilty or not guilty? You are not guilty, but you're not innocent either.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
They say the term innocent a lot in court, just not when you know, get a verdict.
At long last, it's finally over.
Emma? Why the long face?
I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook. But at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit.
No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended,
I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, I did witness this. I was there. It was like 20 seconds ago.
You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days.
Yeah, and I stuttered on that sentence too, before.
You've done well.
you know, I did my best too. But Lena didn't say a single word to me.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals.
Fuck off, please.
Oh, guess I am. Sorry. I'll come back later.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe! What is it?
You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run around.
You're not a detective. I thought you were fired, buddy.
And on top of that, and to top it off, you call me here. I've seen.
Yeah, oh, we've already heard this. Blah, blah, blah.
Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding.
Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone.
Lena!
Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know.
Well, I won't tell if you won't.
What a nice boy. What a nice lad. They got lazy with the names.
Emma, I owe you an apology.
It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. I knew you dropped my toothbrush in the toilet. I don't want. It doesn't matter.
That day, 2 years ago. It all went in slow motion. It just fell towards the rim of the sea. I tried to grab it, but it fell directly.
That's her when she realized she put a poopy toothbrush in her mouth. She fainted out of shock. Oh god.
It was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could do was thinking about keeping you from getting wrapped up in this mess.
Sis!
I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. Now, I realize I was wrong.
Holy fuck!
I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself. But I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew.
But sis, you were only doing it for me!
No,
Huh?
I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you.
Sis!
I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry.
But sis, you don't have to apologize! I'm happy now! Cause I didn't kill a man! I guess I really don't know what it feels like to kill a man. Guess I'll have to find out.
Dun dun dun.
You're happy?
I realized it wasn't your toothbrush, it was mine. Ah!
Of course! You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have.
Oh, Emma. Emma.
Ah, wonderful. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for it for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because I'm really fucking up this emotional last speech, aren't I? Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on towards a brighter future. Beautifully written. Terribly read by me. At least that's what I felt, watching the two sisters make up. One wrong word there and it would have been a completely different sentence. At least that's what I thought, watching the two sisters make out.
Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe,
Me?
thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here.
Mm-hmm.
Where was he hiding?
I just came to say, congratulations.
Congratulations! 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 Congratulations!
Congratulations. Omedetou! Omedetou naina!
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Right, well, I'll be going now.
Get back here, silly.
Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you.
It's too late for me.
Huh?
No matter what anyone may say, I realized today that I can't correct my mistakes.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right.
You despise criminals. You can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day, you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone.
That was much better than my initial reading of it the first time around.
I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I'll need a weapon.
Like this Glock!
Get down, he's got a gun!
It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now.
But Edgeworth,
Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor.
Whoa, really?
Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight the crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone.
But
You were working together with Mr. Wright.
Yeah, but he can't really work together with the defense on every single trial, can he? That's not quite... It's not really how it works. It's not supposed to happen like that.
And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright?
huh? What? Yeah. What is this, a pop quiz?
Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lena's talking about.
Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find out on our own.
Alright. The evidence list! The evidence list! Yeah? That's right, that's good enough. It is technically, literally two halves of a thing that we both had. So that's the only thing I can think of. And it's connected now. I'm pretty sure it wasn't connected before. It's gotta be the evidence list. Evidence.
That's the picture I drew.
Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture.
That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth.
maybe.
Maybe.
It's time for me to go. It's time for me to go.
Mr. Edgeworth, I love you. Please love me.
If you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor.
Sing with me, just Edgeworth. Breaking the law, breaking the wall.
Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember. You can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you. You can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you.
I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem.
Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court.
Farewell.
Beautiful, beautiful exit.
I better be going too.
Yeah, you do have to go to jail, remember that.
Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will.
Wonderful. So, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Oh, we're not at the end.
And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself.
Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal.
Huh? What is it, detective?
There's just a little matter to be. There's just a little matter to be resolved by the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this.
Combine. It's the fifth game. Oh, wait, what? There's an Ace Attorney game where you play as Edgeworth. Is that one of the spin-offs, like you said?
I thought you said it was okay.
Well, it may be okay with me, but the folks of the prison are a different story.
Huh?
Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either.
Huh?
Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side.
Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Right here is the only one who will be footing the bill.
Huh? Huh?
What, do you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best.
Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream.
Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go.
What money do you have, you literal child? Wonderful. Can I skip this, or do I have to sit through it? I mean, oh no, why would I ever want to skip it? I'm not gonna read all this. It's too fast. We've assessed this. At the end of each game, it's too fast for me to fucking read, so... Oh. And that's how right law officers become bankrupt. Okay. Let me do a little looky-loo on the Twitch real quick while the credits are just rolling. Among Us tournament, no thanks. No thank you, not interested, not interested. Not interested. The amount of things I have to select not interested on.
It's crazy.
It's automatic. Yeah, it's automatic, so I can't really read it out.
Hard to keep up with, unfortunately.
My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner is keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them, though. Someday I'm gonna make detective. Yes, sir! Like that dick gumshoe!
I had to. I had to. Just for old time's sake. Crack out the Meekins one more time. If only we can. If only. Well, the only person live at the moment is Shiris. So should we raid her again, or should we find someone new? What do you guys think? Obviously, you don't have to stick around if you don't want to. It's more of just a common courtesy thing. Yeah, it is. It does kind of suck. I still can't understand any logical reason as to why they wouldn't let you raid him, even if they don't even have like notifications on. Like, why wouldn't you be allowed to do that? It'll make no sense. It's not like I'm accepting. It's not like I'm expecting recognition from Bob Ross himself. I mean, it's impossible, but. Akemi Kimura, thank you for your service. That was a big hiccup.
I mean, you've seen each other for a while. As your farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the right way lunch. The top layer tastes a bit, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory.
Alright, my dude. Thank you for dropping by, my friend. Appreciate it. Hope you had a good time. Oh, these credits go on forever. Fuck, I'm reminded of Red Dead 2's credits, and I can't remember if I sat through those on stream or not, but it was like 45 minutes long.
I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said to me. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he'd been doing, something or other for, how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I'd better... Oh, no! I forgot my gav!
Great. Oh, that's what his chair looks like. Very fancy. It's almost sunrise. Jeez. Yeah. Bum bum ba-dum. Bum bum. Come on, guys. Dasamuka's gotta go to bed. It's her.
Ah! Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still something I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a fully fledged spirit medium.
Mystic Maya afternoon training's about to begin.
Coming. Well, see you around, Nick.
Cool. She's got like 2 pieces of dialogue. Cheers a very rare sight. I think that's the first time we've seen it throughout the entire game. Don't know how many other sightings there are in the series. Oh, I'm so hungry. I'm so filthy too. I gotta go fucking take a shower. Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I brought you your tea.
What is it with this guy always fucking appearing? He was in like the second case, wasn't he? And then he randomly pops up in this one again.
Not sure I see the logic.
It's almost like people in this world exist.
You're going to Europe? Wow, good for you. Privileged little white girl.
All I have to do is open this book. Well, see ya. Bet you wish you could go to Europe.
A photo in there. Oh, is it money? Please. Oh, fuck's sake.
Damn it.
Was it the second one? I think it was the second one or the third one. I don't remember. That's cute. Wonderful. Bum.
Rise from the ashes.
I got an achievement. Main menu? Main menu? Come on. Come on. Don't just throw me into the second game. If I do continue, how do I start a new game? Do I have to just, like... Oh, okay. Okay, so I select... Okay. I was confused for a while, because I was like, how do I do this? Alright, well... I'm gonna end it and go get some food and go take a shower and just have a relax. I appreciate you all very much. Thank you, Ollie, for the 10 gift subs. Scared the shit out of me, but I really, really appreciate that. It really, I mean, I'm doing this every day anyway, but it gives me immense motivation and makes me feel as if I'm doing the right thing, you know, for the people who watch me if they enjoy it that much. But yeah. Love the consistency. Yeah, I'll see you guys probably not on the weekend. I've sort of taken the weekends off and chilling out a bit. So yeah. I will see you on Monday probably. So yeah. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Mwah.